I bought a Subaru and ruined it. Not only that, I did it more than once. This is more like one of those old confessions type films in the 1970s and 80s. Back in 2001, when I bought my first Impreza, I loved it, absolutely loved it. But I then proceeded to ruin it. So in today's video, I'm going to go through 8 mistakes that I made modifying my Subarus. I'm sure, like me, you've made mistakes with your car. Things that you've regretted pretty much straight away. I did with my first Subarus and, you know, subsequent Subarus. And I'm only really starting to learn a bit of restraint now. But if you've made a modification that you've pretty much instantly regretted, pop it in the comments below. Be interested to see what your mistakes were. We're not all perfect. So first and foremost, as a Subaru owner and a Subaru enthusiast, as I have been for many, many years, what's that, 23 years now, I wanted to make my Subaru better, but I didn't have the experience at that time to know any better than what I proceeded to do. So the first big mistake that I made with my 2001 Bug-Eye STI that I imported from Cyprus was it fitted the biggest, loudest exhaust that I could possibly get on there. TSL Firestorm 5-inch back box, really loud, really, really loud. You know, it makes an afterburner sound like a pathetic little tin can. It was very, very loud. Sounded awesome on boost, but 90%, 95% of your driving is not on boost, and it used to become really embarrassing, really embarrassing. I lived in a small village, and driving through the village, everyone knew who I was. And, you know, gives the police 3 or 4 miles head start to know where you are and what you're doing. Yeah, it wasn't the best purchase that I've ever done. The second way that I ruined that car was, you know, dump valve. Anyone that knows me now, watches my videos, or has had me map their car will know my opinion on dump valves. And largely that's formed from my own experiences of dump valves, i.e. the noise, massive amount of noise from the dump valve, from a Turbo Smart supersonic dump valve that I put on that. But not only that, it made no difference performance-wise. And to be honest, the only time the dump valve actually sounded nice were when you were letting go on full throttle. The rest of the time, it just sounded like the hydraulic brakes on a bus. Quite embarrassing. And it wasn't cheap either. You know, the Turbo Smart Supersonic is a very good quality dump valve if you like that kind of thing. It wasn't cheap, but almost immediately after fitting it, I regretted it. It was a mistake. Obviously, these are my opinions of my mistakes. You know, you might love the dump valve sound, you might love really loud exhaust. But this is just my confessions as a Subaru owner, as a Subaru enthusiast. The third big mistake that I made was, you know, trying to be different. I wasn't the first person to try and increase the power of their Subaru, but I decided to do things slightly different to other people. You know, after all, I knew best. I didn't. So rather than follow a tried and tested path to achieving certain results, achieving certain power, I thought, I know, I'll get one of those instead. That looks better, it looks different. You know, everyone else is doing this. So I tried to do things slightly differently. In hindsight, that was a big mistake. It cost a lot of money to do things differently and then eventually admit defeat and admit that what hundreds, thousands of other people have done actually worked. So ultimately, I wasted a lot of time with the early days of tuning my Impreza 2006 Hawkeye, which was my third Subaru, until I eventually decided to follow a tried and tested route to getting more power. I loved that car, it was amazing. I bought it brand new, 2006 STI, UK, 2.5, worked great. Took it on a track day the next day after its first service. Amazing car. Could drive it anywhere, comfortable, but then proceeded to ruin it. Now you might think that creating a 850 horsepower monster out of that car wasn't ruining it, but I can assure you it was more fun when it was 350 horsepower than it was at 850. I could drive it, enjoy it, park it up, take it to the shops without having to worry about every single mile that I put on that engine degrading it, or not having the ground clearance to go into car parks or anything else. You know, it was more fun at 350 horsepower. The fourth thing that I did to ruin my Impreza was stickers. You know, I used to go on track days an awful lot in the early days. Thought stickers, yeah, I need stickers. Rally graphics, whatever the graphics. I had a version of the rally graphics on there. Looked amazing. Well, I thought they looked amazing. Bit of a cliche in a lot of ways, but I get bored of stickers, so you want to change them every now and again. Taking the stickers off damages the paint, you know, no matter how careful you are. Subaru paint's not very good quality anyway, but you either peel a bit of paint off, damage it in some way, you know, you get some different colours of the paint underneath the stickers compared to the paint that's not underneath, and it just generally doesn't do good things to the paint. So you end up putting stickers back on it and more stickers to cover up the damage to the paint, which is what I did. It was a big mistake. Another thing with having stickers on there is every single boy racer wants to race you. It gets tedious after a while. Obviously I had to teach a few of them a lesson, and sometimes you just want a nice calm drive. So yes, I consider putting stickers on a mistake. The fifth mistake that I made when tuning that Impreza was setting a power target. Oh, I want to achieve 400 horsepower. Oh, I want to hit 450, 500 horsepower, 550, 600, 650, 800, 850. When I should have been chasing the performance. Power targets tend to lead to frustration, to disappointment when you don't quite just hit it. Let's say your target was 400 and you got 396 and you end up being really deflated by that. A different day on the same dyno or a different dyno, it'd probably hit 400. It doesn't matter. The performance should have been the thing that I was targeting, but I didn't. So you end up following it up, going back, doing more mods, more changes, more money, more time, more weight saving, more of everything, or less of some things. Yeah, that was a mistake. It was a mistake. The sixth mistake that I made was fitting a full roll cage. I took the car on track a lot, enjoyed track days, then started doing time attack because I thought I was really quick on the track. Obviously at that point you realise you're not, and you then get led down the path of more power, more this, more that, more this. And one of those steps was to take out all the interior and put a full roll cage in it. At that point, that car was lost. It was gone. It was no longer a car that you could just drive on the road. You're forever banging your head, your elbows, your knees, your ankles on roll cage. And with the proper padding, the padding is as hard as a roll cage anyway, it's just not quite as cold. So you end up having padding on the padding to make it less damaging when you're on the road just bouncing around on our normal poor quality roads. Yeah, roll cage ruined it. Ruined it. But the next thing that I did was the biggest thing that I did to ruin it as far as a road car is concerned. I thought, I know, let's take out the heater. That'll be a really good thing to save weight. What was I thinking? The that absolutely ruined it completely. Because without a heater I couldn't demist the windscreen, without a heater I couldn't keep warm, but it was still road legal. It was still a car that I drove to and from a track day, and in the winter that just wasn't possible anymore. I tried it. I did a track day in the snow at Brands Hatch, and yeah, 12-hour drive back from there in the snow without a heater. It's the worst experience of my life. Absolutely awful. Yeah, I should have kept the heater in. Driving in the rain on track without a heater, without a blower that's going to demist the windscreen, was extremely dangerous. The windscreen used to steam up, so then I had to put a heated windscreen in. More money, more expense, more wiring. Yeah, it was it was ruined at that point. The last thing that I did that ruined my car, that ruined that Impreza, was listening to people. I know that kind of goes against what I said earlier on about trying to do things differently, but pick your mentors, pick your tuners, pick your influences, and just, you know, once you've chosen your tuner, once you've chosen people that you're prepared to listen to, you know, ignore the rest. The world's full of people with an opinion. Trust your own. Trust your tuner, trust your mentor, trust someone that you appreciate their knowledge and their experience. You know, if it's in the racing world, then, you know, get to know, you know, someone that's a little bit further along the path than you, that is prepared to share the information. Got lots of videos coming very soon that I'm working on, so if you want to keep up to date with those, then don't forget to subscribe. I'm told that I should ask you to click on the bell notification so that you get notified. So click on the bell. Now I hope you've enjoyed my confessions here. You know, I loved my Hawkeye Impreza. It was a real shame when I let that go. Earlier on this year, beginning of this year, the shell finally went after I'd broken all the bits off it. Because after it sat on a ramp for a few years, the memories of driving it that were fun are gone. You know, so the car had to go. With this Forester STI, I've kept it really standard because I wanted to practice restraint, not to ruin it. I've changed or upgraded the suspension with the PEDAs. Obviously keep on top of the maintenance, making sure that it's happy and safe, tuned it effectively, but always within itself so that it's not at the point of braking at any point. So I can drive it, have some fun with it, but still go to town, still get in a car park, still drive it like a normal car, still got aircon, you know, still got heating, still got comfortable seats. It hasn't got a roll cage that's going to kill me at any point. Maybe it's just growing up. Maybe I'm finally growing up. But anyway, I hope you have enjoyed this Confessions of a Subaru Owner. 8 ways that I've ruined my Imprezas. And I'll see you in the next video.